Everyone. So we are today at week two. Just waiting for everybody to join in, and we'll start the session as soon as we have some audience with us who will be benefited from this particular session. Before I start with the session, I mean, let's try and look at what we have been able to achieve till now. So we have we have seen the week one, wherein the week one was primarily about understanding design, and through various case studies we saw how design act as such a powerful tool in terms of bringing comfort in the lives of users. Today here we are at week two, and it's a live problem solving session. And the idea has been same that we try and discuss with all our participants. We try to understand what backgrounds our participants have, and what motivated them to join this course. And once we have that brief round of introduction with our participants, we then start with our content recap of the course. So in the content recap, what we have basically done is that for that particular week's duration, we have a set of content. It's basically the snippets, or you can say the screenshots of the actual presentations and the lectures by our honorable course instructors. So what I've done is I've just created a small kind of a storyline wherein we have different snippets, so that even if a learner has not been able to gone through the course content, they can actually see what has happened in this week's content. That will help in two ways. First of all, they will get to know that this is what has been discussed in a very brief manner, and secondly, it will also help them, prepare a little for the sample quiz which we do conduct. Uh, so what we do is that we every week I come up with a certain set of 10 questions, where some of them are from the previous year, some of them are new, and what we do is that we try to discuss those questions. We try to answer them, and answering them basically involves discussing it with the participants, understanding what participants have to say in it, what is their thought process, why do they think that this particular option is correct or not. And once we have that kind of a discussion, I think it brings a lot of learning, a lot of perspectives, and then we share the final answer to it. Secondly, what we also do in this particular session is that we have, 2 to 3 quizzes. These are like online quizzes, in a way to enhance the active participation of the audiences. So these quizzes can be accessed through your mobile devices. If you are, seeing the content from laptop, you can actually use your mobile phones. You need to have a active internet connection, and there are two ways you can access those quizzes and polls. You can either scan the QR code, and you can see the quiz and participate in it from your whichever place you are in, whichever geographical location you are in. And the other way is that you can go to slido.com, enter the code, and then you can actually participate in the quiz. The idea of having quizzes is to engage the audience, to see how you have been able to get along with the content. And because there are two ways we are trying to engage with you. One is through the sample set of questions, wherein I ask and seek your responses to it. The other is through the quizzes, right? So before we start with the second session, let me quickly introduce myself, and I would want brief introduction from all those who have joined in as of now. My name is Abhishek. I did my architecture as well as industrial design in post graduation from SPA Delhi, which is School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. After that, I was working for almost 8 years. Partially was with industries and companies like Infosys and Think Design. And after that, I also had my own startup, which I worked for almost 2.5 years. Parallelly, I started engaging with the design institutions. So I was teaching at design institutes, like 3 to 4 locations within India itself. And then I started my doctoral journey, which is the PhD journey at IIT Roorkee. So currently now I am placed at Roorkee, which is in Haridwar, Uttarakhand. Probably a lot of you would have heard about Haridwar. It's one of the holy locations. So it's also called the spiritual capital of India. So I am based out of Roorkee, which is very close to Haridwar. And we are conducting these online sessions. So, irrespective of whichever location you are, you can actually be a part of these sessions, right? So, I'll quickly request all of you to introduce yourself. A very brief introduction, your name, your background, and probably what motivated you to join this course, right? So, we have been doing it in the previous session as well, but what we have seen from our past experiences of other NPTEL courses is that the audience keep on changing. For many a times the last session was the first session for a lot of people, right? So we need to understand and know each other a lot, and at every stage of the session as well, right? So I'll take the names of the people who are in the alphabetical order of my screen, and you can just briefly introduce yourself. We've got Jeevanathanam. uh, Hi, if you are there, if you can briefly introduce Jeevan, if you can hear my voice. Jeevan, if you can hear me. We have Kirti Vivek.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Jeevan. Okay, Jeevan is there. Yes, yes, Jeevan. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank.
Is it fine if I call you Jeevan?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Okay, okay. So, hi, Jeevan. Please tell us a little about yourself and where you are located, which course you are pursuing, which, if you are studying, then, which semester and all.
Sir, my name is Jeevanandam. Coming from Namakkal, I am studying college of Mutayamal Engineering College, sir.
Okay.
Second year, fourth sem, sir.
You're in second year, huh?
Yes, sir. Okay, almost.
Okay, and I would also want to know whether you are doing this as a part of academic requirement, or you're doing it for course credits.
Sir, what, sir?
You are doing this as a requirement of academic perspective, or you're doing it just out of interest to know more about design and innovation.
Mm, sir, I don't know this academics, sir. Um,
I mean, what I'm trying
my
to ask
lecturer
is
joined.
no, no. What I'm trying
My
to ask
lecturer
is
is
that
joined.
okay, okay. No, so whether you'll be appearing for the examination for this particular course.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. So, welcome, Jeevan. Is this your first session, or you were there in the previous session?
This is first section, sir.
All right, all right. So welcome, and I would request your active participation. Okay. Uh, let's go to Kirti Vivek. Uh, Hi, Kirti Vivek. Can you hear me? Okay. Then we have Priyadarshini Singh.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Priyadarshini. Welcome. Yeah. So basically, what we are seeking is a very quick and brief introduction of yours, your current designation, and if you are studying, working, and which location, which college.
I'm actually like third year student in RBITM. I'm do like and I'm from Bangalore.
So third year student of which stream?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical. So what is the name, the full form of this college? RBITM?
RB Institute of Technology and Management.
RV. V for van, huh?
Yeah,
RV. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So Priyadarshini, is this your first session or you had been a part in the previous one?
No, no, it's my first session actually.
All right, all right. Most welcome.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have Victoria. Hi, Victoria. We are getting a lot of background noises. Uh,
Yeah, this is some sadness. Can you hear me?
we are just seeking a quick introduction if you are able to hear my voice.
Yeah, so this is Victoria Footing, Dr. Victoria Footing from NGM Institute of Health Science. So I'm a physiotherapist and assistant professor and a part-time PhD scholar at the same institute.
Okay,
So this
okay.
is my first session.
All right, all right. Most welcome, ma'am. Most welcome. I think there were a couple of more people. I think from a fear of introduction, they kind of left. But anyways, anyways, we'll proceed with our session. How the session is organized is that we first introduce you to a certain set of slides. These are like protocol slides. And for every session, we have these set of like 10-15 slides wherein we make you aware of, how the session is conducted. We also tell you about the examination, the intricacies of the examination, the critical deadlines which you need to be aware of. We also show you a content recap because we have seen that the learners are not able to go through the content many a times, and that's where the content recap actually helps a lot of people. And even if you have gone through the content, it will just brush up your what you have learned through. Then we have a set of 10 questions. These are different from those which are in your live assignment. We try to seek your opinion in terms of what do you think would be the answer. Important thing to note is that we do not evaluate in these sessions. It's more like we request active participation from the audience. So you are free to share your opinion, share your perspective, share what could be the right answer. And in between we also have very very quick polls and quizzes. These are basically requiring your participation from your mobile devices, which needs to have an internet connection. And as you go through the presentation at 2 to 3 point, you will see when we go through the course content and the presentation, you will understand how these can be interacted. Okay, so it was a good learning for me when I first saw these Slido integrated slides. Even when you are presenting, or down the line if you are making a presentation, I think this is interesting tool which you can actually utilize, right? I'll just quickly check up with one more audience. Ashwini, is it possible for you to quickly introduce yourself? Ashwini? Okay. Lish Kabi, can you please introduce yourself? All right. Right. So what I'll do is I'll put my screen on share. I would request if any one of you can please tell me when you are able to see my screen, so that I have a kind of a feedback, and then we'll proceed with the presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Great, great. Thank you. All right. So I think everybody knows that the course is basically innovation by design. We are currently in week two. Last week, in this particular day, we conducted the very first session. And as you are all aware, and if not, it's a 4 week course. So basically, today we are covering half of the journey of this 4 week course. The course instructor is Professor VK Chakravarti sir, who is from IIT Bombay. And like I said, today is our second session out of the four sessions series. All right. So this is usually the general agenda. As I mentioned, in our discussion, the initial few slides are the protocol slides. We basically tell you more about, how the session is conducted, details about your examination, if you are doing it for credit requirement or if you are, doing it to gain the certificate. So these sessions are basically to help you in the current run of courses, right? So with the ongoing content, we try to develop a set of 10 questions. We do a content recap as well. So all this basically helps you to revise those things. So like I mentioned, we do a recap for the ongoing week's content. We discuss and solve previous year assignments. Sometimes it is previous along with some new questions as well. All right, so we do a mix of both. Because many a times a couple of questions from the previous year assignments also do appear in your live quiz. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So in those scenarios, we introduce new set of questions in those cases. So we basically switch them with a new set of questions. The session would need your active participation. Like I mentioned, one is that you unmute, you speak, and share your opinions on the sample of 10 questions, and you also participate through Slido through your mobile devices. Okay. So which means that you need to have access to the mobile devices, which needs to have an active internet connection, right? One more important thing is that there could be a possibility where uh, this session basically ends abruptly. It could be due to internet disconnectivity at my end, all right, or it may be due to the disconnectivity at your end, right? So whichever the case is, don't panic. You can rejoin the same link. It may take a while, but please be patient and join the same link so that we can continue with our presentation, right? So sometimes what we have heard is that Google Meet has a certain limit of 1 hour, but we have also found that in certain cases it's not there. So whichever the scenario is, if it is internet disconnection or the limit, you try to join back in the same link. Okay. If that is also not possible, then you should not worry because this will be recorded and it will be put up on YouTube. Okay. So the worst case scenario is that you are unable to log in again and you are not able to see. Still, you have a backup at YouTube, which will be accessible to all. I'll also tell you where do you need to find these links. Okay. Usually, we request all to keep the mic on mute. But if you want to speak, you want to share certain experiences or your perspective, you can unmute. All right. So that is perfectly fine. We do it because we record these sessions and these recorded sessions are put up on YouTube. So in order to avoid any noises and disturbances, we request that. Like I mentioned, you can unmute yourself to speak. So whenever you have questions or you have something to share or you have some experience which you want to share, most welcome. All these things are most welcome. So don't hesitate there. Please, speak up. For any questions, kindly post in the discussion forum. Now, discussion forum is a functionality offered by NPTEL platform, and how you basically access is using Ask a Question tab. And the moment you click there, the video with the timestamp allows you to post your question. Okay. So if you're going through a lecture and you feel that, okay, this is something which I'm unable to understand, or, there is some doubt there, you can actually use Ask a Question and you can post that question there. Okay. The good thing about discussion forum is that it is accessible by NPTEL team. It is accessible by all the learners of this course, and it is also accessible by all the TAs of this course. Okay. So like I have been given the responsibility of conducting the live sessions. There is another TA who is also taking care of the questions which are being asked in the discussion forum. Okay, so you might have seen certain responses to the question. So it's been taken care by the other TA. All right. Okay, so these are the few tabs. Sorry, I scribbled it all over it, but it's quite overlapping. So, like I mentioned, ask a question is a tab which is here. So when you log into your NPTEL platform through your mail ID, this is how the screen will look. All the course content, all the lectures are available in the about the course. Let me use a different color so that it's more readable, right? The announcement section is the one where you can see the announcement with respect to exams, quizzes, problem problem solving sessions, and reminders. Okay, so all that you'll find it in announcement. Like I mentioned, about the course is a tab wherein you get to see all the active lectures. So like till week 3, I believe the content is live. So you can actually go through the content of week 3. Ask a question I've already discussed. Progress is something which will be active soon. Post your quiz 1 and 2 deadline. So the moment the deadline is over, we'll release the set of results and you can actually see your progress. Right? All right. So, like I mentioned, these recordings are being uploaded in YouTube under my channel. This is the channel name, uh, and all these presentations which I'm showing right now. These presentations, along with the annotations, are basically saved and compiled as a PDF, and it gets uploaded in the Google Drive. Right, Google Drive, it gets uploaded. So there could be possibility where you are not able to attend, say for example, the week 3 session or week 1 session. And those scenarios as well, what you can do is you can actually access the video, this particular video, as well as the entire PPT using these two links. Now, where will you get these links? The moment you log in on the left pane. So this is the left pane or the left widget, we can say. Here you'll see all the week-wise content. Okay. And at the bottom, you'll find something as problem solving session. Okay. What you need to do is you need to click here. It will it will lead you to a link. Again, click on that. It will lead you to an Excel sheet. And in the Excel sheet, you will find, for example, it will be written week 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have the YouTube links. All right. And you'll have the shared drive folder, which is given open access. So anybody with the link can actually access. So here you will find all the presentations. All right. And the videos will be accessible in these links. I hope I've made myself clear. It is very clear and evident. This is the area where you need to access problem solving sessions. Right. Now let's go to the course preview. The course name is Innovation by Design. The instructor is Professor V.K. Chakravarti sir, who is basically from IIT Bombay. He's a faculty at the Department of Design, and he's also heading the Design Innovation Center there. It's a 4-week course. We are currently in the second week. So 1 week has gone. We can say 50% course is over. The course started at 22nd of Feb and it's ending at 16th of Feb. The deadline, sorry, I think this should be 2. Okay. The deadline for week 2 is 7th Feb. So it's basically week 1 and week 2 deadline are same. Okay. So even if you have not submitted quizzes for week 1, you still have the option because the deadline for both quizzes are same, which is the 7th of Feb. Okay. So please take a note of that. The announcement has also been added. The final examination date is 23rd of March. All right. And it depends which slot you can prefer. It can be conducted pre-lunch as well as the post-lunch. Now, there are many enthusiasts who would want to know about design, who would want to know about innovation, and for them, the course is completely free of cost. Okay, so you just need to register and you are able to see the entire course. Okay, so entire course and all the lectures and all the learning materials, all the videos, everything is accessible for free. Sorry. But, but if you want to earn a certificate, you will have to appear for physical examination. By physical examination, we mean that you will have to go to a physical center, exam center, and you will have to appear in the exam. So these designated centers are basically the choices you will enter. So while you are registering for the exam, you need to enter your city choices. Probably, you'll be given three fields. Depending upon your proximity, you can, give them. You can also opt for the slots, which is the morning slot. What you can say is the pre-lunch and post-lunch, like we mentioned. And then once the hall ticket is released, you'll be able to get the entire details of your examinations. All right. What we'll also do is we'll be conducting a extra session. This will be a 1 hour session, and this will be happening once we complete all sessions right from week 1 to week 4. So you can say that in the week 5 or the week 4 itself, we'll be trying to conduct the extra session. This the details will be shared later on. Okay, so you'll have to wait for that. Here in this session, we'll be telling more about the exam. What are the informations you need to be aware of before you kind of appear in the examinations, because a lot of students are also taking this course, a lot of professionals are taking this course, and it's always good to earn a certificate, because once if you are investing so much of time, so much of an effort in these course by going through the content, going through the quizzes, it's always good to evaluate how well you have understood the content. And I think examinations are a great way of evaluating yourself, as well as a certificate is a valid proof, you know so even if you are not in a mind, I think just appear for it. Even if you are old, you have gone by that age of preparing for examination, I think it'll be fun for you. Okay. So the examination is optional for a fee of 1,000 rupees. So if you want to earn a certificate, you need to give an exam fee. There are also certain rebates given to the SC/ST category and the PWD category. For that, you need to visit the website, the NPTEL platform. They have shared it in great detail. Okay, so the moment you opt one of these options, the price will automatically change. So that is something which is there in the background algorithm. Right. Uh, there are a few things which I talk a little in great detail. First one is earning a certificate. So all this can be explained in very quickly in two methods. Like like in the colleges, you have internal and externals. Even in the schools, internal. What by internal we mean is that the weekly quizzes. Okay, so we have been conducting week 1 to week 4 quizzes. All this will be having a weightage of 25%. And you will have one external, which is the physical mode of examination. The weightage of this external will be 75%, and that is how your overall score will be generated out of 100%, 100 marks, right? Now, we also give an option of, taking the average of the best three assignments. So we will be submitting four assignments. We'll be taking the average of best three. Okay. And there are certain more criteria to it. It is not just appearing in the examination and getting marks. The background rule also says that in the internals you need to score more than equal to 10. The externals you need to score more than equal to 30, which means in the overall your score needs to be more than equal to 40, right? So there is certain criteria on the internal part, there is a criteria on the external part, and an overall criteria as well, right? So overall you need to score more than 40, but if you score 5 here, and 35 here. Then also you score 40, but that kind of scenario will not lead to earning a certificate because you need to meet, it's written and here, you know. So this criteria is also important and this criteria is also important. So if you have not completed your quizzes, I would suggest that, please be a little active and, try to complete it as soon as possible. See, it's written. If one of the two criteria is not met, you will not get the certificate even if the final score is greater than 40. All right. So coming to the week-wise content, the week one talked about the seven C's or the seven concerns, starts from the cause and ends at the connection. We talked about design thinking, understanding design, the first C, the first cause, and the Jaipur food. Week two content was about the second C and the third C, which is the context and the comprehension. In terms of additional learning materials, we saw Out of Poverty by Paul Pollock and the Godrej Chotu Pool case study, which is presented through a small video documentary as well. Okay. Let's proceed with the type of questions. There will be two typology of questions in this particular set of examination as well as in your quizzes. Type 1 is single choice, wherein one answer will be correct. And type 2 is multiple choice, which means more than one answers will be correct. Okay. So which sandwich do you want? If I have option of like this, I will just select one of them. But what do you want in your sandwich? I may select multiple. That's the basic idea. The framing of this can also be tweaked into fill in the blanks. Okay, so it is just a matter of writing the words in a different way, but then the options would be one of the two. Now let's start with the content recap. The content recap is basically going through the week two content which was presented in the lectures and the modules. I'll just check if everybody is there on the call. So just wait. Because internet has been troubling us as well, so it's important to see whether the participants are there. Yeah, hi Sanjeev, you have raised your hand. uh, you can tell me what is the issue, Sanjeev Kumar.
Yeah, good evening, Abhishek.
Hi, good evening.
Actually, I have a question. I have a question regarding Swam platform.
Right,
So
right, please ask.
in, initially when I enrolled, I
Hmm.
used my company email ID. Now
Okay.
I wanted to change it. Whether it is possible?
See, once you have registered for the course, either what you can do is you can re-register for the course with the other email, the personal email as you are referring to, if you're able to do. Can you do it?
Actually, I haven't tried.
Yeah. So if you do it, you try to log in and enter the course in the mail ID which you would want to have. And the other mail ID can actually continue the course. But if you want to earn a certificate and for that perspective, you can utilize your personal mail ID. You just try doing that. If it is not working, you can utilize the discussion forum and post a question there so that the NPTEL team can actually get back.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other question? So
No, not it.
okay, okay. Thank you, Sanjay. So we'll proceed with our presentation. Okay, so before we do that, let me just quickly ask you to raise your hand for those who have gone through the week two content. आप में से जितने लोगों ने week two content पढ़ा है, देखा है, if you have gone through the week two content, can you please raise your hand so that I just have an understanding, how quickly should I run through the recap or should I, take time in it? Okay. So I think we have got six hand raised, and in total we have 16 contributors. So yeah, I mean it's less than 50%, but ठीक है. I think I've got a brief idea. Thank you so much. You all can lower your hands. I'm sharing my screen once again. I believe my screen is visible to all of you. All right. So this we started. Can anyone tell me the imagery here is talking about what product? What product is this? This steel jar, steel container. What do you think this product is? Anyone who has gone through the content? You can unmute yourself and please speak because if I'm on presentation mode, it's very hard to switch the modes. Feel free to please speak.
That's a water filter, right?
It's a water filter, correct? It's a water filter. Well done, well
So
done.
it is in context with the CRPF Jawan. So basically, the filtration mechanism. So this figure is showed with respect to that. So what all filters can we use to filter the water?
All right. I mean, ma'am, there is a slight correction. I mean, this was not primarily for the CRPF Jawan. This they were talking
Okay.
about in a village scenario, wherein the professor just informed about how socio-cultural fabric affects the people, and we do have a question on that as well. So we'll understand more about that. So just to give a brief of it, I mean, this was being caused due to some kind of poisoning. Can you tell me anyone what poisoning it was?
Arsenic poisoning.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So basically, the people in that village they were consuming groundwater, and many a times groundwater has arsenic, and overconsumption of it actually leads to arsenic poisoning, which kind of symptomatic in terms of sorry, skin diseases. Many a times it leads to cancer and even liver diseases, right? So that is why filtration of water was very much important, and their team decided to work on certain kind of water filter for it. Okay. So after that, the professor talks about in detail about the CRPF what filter water bottle, and they beautifully explains how the context was, how the background story was made, how important there was the discussion between the CRPF team who were regularly being communicated, were in loop in the entire design process, and how it helped them in coming up with the new design of the bottle. Okay, so here comes your first active poll. Take your mobile phones, have your internet working, try to scan the QR code. It will lead you to the questionnaire to respond. If that is a problem, you can open up slido.com and enter this hash code. What you need to do is you need to tell us what is the full form of CRPF. CRPF stands for, there are four options: Central Regime Police Force, Central Reserve Police Force, Core Reserve Police Force, and Central Reserve Police Task Force. So, quickly take out your mobile phones and try to address to this particular question. If you have gone through the case study, and even if you have not gone through the case study, I think you must be aware of it. Please try to respond to it. Meanwhile, I can see a couple of hands raised. Those people who have raised your hand, do you have any issues or you have any doubts we can discuss? Those who have got their hands raised.
The Central Reserve Police
Or sir,
Force.
you don't have to speak the answer. You have to attempt it using the poll. You have to go to the QR code. You have to just tap on the option which you think is the correct one. Okay, so we'll give 1 more minute for you all to participate in it. I think we have, as of now, five people who have participated. I would encourage all of you to please, get yourself engaging, get yourself active, because we have two more quizzes down the line, and I would want your, participation in it. All right. So I think let's see how many people have voted for what all. Perfect, perfect. So the correct answer is Central Reserve Police Force, and everybody has taken up the right answer. So those who have just voted, you can keep your screens on that mode, because in the same screen the question will change whenever the question is put on live in my screen. So you don't need to scan it again and again, right? Let's proceed with our content recap. So this is basically the requirement which the CRPF people mentioned, the design team, that this is the weight, these are the things which they carry in terms of ammunition, backpack, the bulletproof vests, as well as water bottles, and the entire weight basically sums up to around 25 kgs. Then we have Professor Himendra, who was basically talking about the requirement of the water filter for these Jawans. And there were these traditional methods were being used in form of the cleaning processes. And these cleaning methods are basically used in these sources of procuring water, which included water tank, rivers, wells, likewise. And here what we see is the discussion. So we see here, this is the CRPF representatives, and here we have the design team, and they regularly visited. Either these people went to their offices or these guys came here, and they had discussions on the entire design process, right from their initiation to the mock-ups to the final prototype. The two parties were very much engaged. He's Mr. Manish Mahale, who was representative of CRPF, and he was sharing his concerns, his requirements along with his entire team. And professor talked about different kind of analysis. How do you study the peer products which are available in the market, so that you understand what kind of mechanisms are already existing. And these are certain imagery of how the Jawans are using the water bottles as of now. What is highlighted here is basically a Bisleri bottle. You can see the blue cap. And then certain kind of requirements were generated. Sound came out to be one of the critical requirements, that when you use a plastic bottle or a Bisleri bottle, it has a cracking sound. So which is very much hazardous to them, because the enemy might follow the sounds, and they can actually it may lead to the death of the people. So this was a working rig which they made. They had certain thought process in mind, certain idea in mind. So they tried to work it out whether it can work or not. Again, the discussions continued for quite a long time, till the final design was developed, and they created a checklist. The checklist included, it needs to be easy to filter, must have an integral pump, should be easy to maintain and not smell, because with the integrated pump this was an issue. Should store 2 liters of water. It should be soundproof. We recently discussed about sound in the previous slide. It should be able to fit inside the pockets of the bag. So there is a bag, and if there is a pouch, it should be able to fit in there. And then there was a price constraint as well for it. Then for the conceptualization, the team did the affinity mapping, and three areas were decided, and they generated three concepts. This is the concept set 1, 2, and 3, and they evaluated these concepts, and they figured that okay, concept 3 is one of the champion ideas based on the marking, and they took forward it, and they revised the details and the features of it. This is one of the mock-ups of the water filter. The idea is that you take the mock-up, you try and experience it, you go to the real scenario, you try to use it like you are using the real bottle. So it helps you understand the all the parts or the materials, and how you're able to motor the knob, you're able to uncap it. So it helps you gain certain insights from the mock-up itself. These are certain more form studies, how the form was translating from a cuboid shape to a much more bottle oriented shape. We just said, it should be able to fit into the pocket. kind of it. So we can see that translation, happening. And this is the team who worked. You can see the final prototype here. Okay, and these bottles were made using blow molding process. You can see, how the blow molded part looks like, and then these are like trimmed. Okay, so we have also collaborated with the expertise in different areas, like the plastic manufacturers, to understand the bottle for the production part of it. Then we come to the additional learning material by Paul Pollock. It's a small video documentary wherein he talks about his book Out of Poverty and what works when the traditional approaches fail. He talks about the 12 steps, starting from going where the action is happening till staying positive and don't getting not getting distracted by what other people think. So these are a series of 10 steps. If you want, you can take a screenshot of it, or you can keep it, for your reference. Then we talked about, we saw the content on the third C, which is the comprehension, which is basically arriving at the insights. We saw the case study of Solar Cooker, who eventually was, renamed or retagged as a rice cooker by the suggestion of a businessman. And then we had in detail presentations and videos on how the traditionally the solar cookers are being used, what are the problems which people are encountering and facing, and how do you position the new product. It should be convenient to use. It should require the south side because it gives you a lot of sun and good amount of it. Needs to be easy to maintain. It should be hygienic in use. It should be able to feed a family 4 to 6. The cost factor, and it should look like a kitchen appliance. So you're kind of seeing the ecosystem where the product shall be placed, and should be able to marry that ecosystem so that you're able to connect better. From an audience point of view. These were certain, summarizations from their experimentations, their studies of, how the color is affecting, how the surfaces are reacting, how the wall thickness basically led them, to the design of it. And these are certain calculations of, if you use the solar oven for a particular period of time, how you will be able to, get back the cost of it. These are certain visualizations because people would want to use it in different scenarios. This is a scenario where they can actually use it in garden or at the terrace also as well, right? Or these are scenarios where the people are living in apartments and where they have window slots or the window AC slots. They can actually use it. So it's a visualization from the outside. It's a visualization from the inside. These are certain specifications which they mentioned about making their final work. This is how the comprehension summed up. Comprehension describes the stage where the design insights emerge. All right. And then we had a case study of Godrej Chotu Pool. It's a very interesting case study. You must, watch for it. How it became a disruptive in its own field, and how it helped people, with their small businesses and small households. All right. So we are kind of completed the week two content. Suppose it's a short answer kind of a question. What do you think you like the most in week two content and why? So maybe one sentence you can actually post, right? It could be the case study. It could be any particular video, or it could also be any particular uh, point which the professor mentions, or it could be any specific stage of the design process which you think was critical to the design of the CRPF water bottle. So it could be anything. It could be anything. And again, since it's something which is based on your preference, so it need not be, I mean, evaluated. It cannot be right or wrong. So it's just, what did you like the most? Yeah, it could be just the videos as well. Yeah, the video content which has been offered. Okay.
வெளிய வந்துட்டடா எரும மாடே.
There is a participant with a mic on. I would request you to please turn off your mic. Yes. So whatever you liked, it won't show any of the names. So, feel free of that pressure. It's an anonymous feed. So you can actually write whatever you like the most in this week two content. So just to remind of in the additional learning materials, we saw the story of Paul Pollock and how he basically ventured into different countries, Nepal, Bangladesh, to understand, what are the problems and, where the solution lies actually. And then we had the study of Godrej Chotu Cool, right, where it became a disruptive in the market in itself. And then we had a detailed case study on the CRPF water bottle, wherein they had different scenarios, different challenges, uh, interesting insights coming from the CRPF team when they were meeting with the design team, right? And it all began with the socio-cultural aspect of why the candles did not work in a particular context of Varanasi villages. Okay, so there are many things have been touched upon in this week two content. So we have got one input. Developing bottles for the CRPH John with all criteria fulfilled. Yes, I would also agree with this participant. I think it is a very interesting case study because it had everything in it. See how color became such an important aspect in terms of designing that bottle because they wanted it to be camouflaged in their setting and with their dresses as well, right? So right from the water bottle volume to the color factor to the cost factor and the filtration part which needs to be very intuitive, very easy, and how they like the second input which we have got, the design input received from CRPF Jawan to fit filter beneath the bottle. It solved the smell issue and also made integrated pump outside fit to inside uh, the bottle envelope. I think that's also a very, very interesting point. They mentioned that when you had the filter inside in the bottle, after some time it would stink. And that stink would also go inside water. So it would not be a very great experience in drinking the water. Okay. So one of the Jawan actually gave them the idea that why don't you fit it beneath, and he also suggested to add a clamp to it. Okay, so because in their prototype the locking mechanism was very clumsy. So he suggested that you just have a clap mechanism. You must have seen certain glass bottles which have a clap mechanism. It's like a clamp which helps you fit the bottle. So he also suggested that. So it was not only the pump, it was also how the fixture was being suggested by the team. See, it is coming from the people who are not designers. Then we have one more perspective about the Chotu Cool, how well even the design name can increase the market value from solar oven to rice cooker. Okay, interesting. Yes, I think that was the suggestion given by a businessman that you project the solar oven as a sorry, not oven, the solar cooker as a rice cooker, because then people will not complain that it is not cooking dal, or it is not cooking my cake because it is meant for rice. Second is with regards to the CPF board model, the categorization of the concept and then merging into one chapter. Yes, I think as a process perspective, that's a very interesting exercise. It might be challenging at first, but then as you practice more, you'll be able to understand, how the conceptualization is taking place. How do you bring about all those concepts into one singular concept, and then how do you select one concept out of the three concepts, right? So all those who participated, a big thanks to all of you and a big clap for you. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for understanding the content and presenting it here. Okay. So, a couple of more important aspects, and then we'll come on to our weekly quiz, which is a 10 set of questions. Now, these are the marking scenarios. If all the options chosen by the student are correct and no incorrect answer has been chosen, then full marks. If at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. If only correct answers are chosen, but not all correct answers have been chosen, then partial marks. So, let me just explain it with an example. Who among the below are Indian singers? Okay. For example, is All right. So the question is, who among the below are Indian singers? And the correct answers are B and C, Srinidhi Chauhan and Shankar Mahadevan. Now let's understand all these scenarios one by one. Scenario one is, I mean, don't go with the question. It is just to help you understand the marking criteria. So scenario one is that you select option B and C. You have selected all the correct answers, and you'll get full marks. Scenario 2 says, if at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. So what if you select B, but you also selected D? Okay. Where although B is correct, but D is incorrect. Since you have chosen one incorrect, no marks. Then you've got scenario 3, which says, if only correct answers are chosen, if not all correct answers are chosen, then partial marks proportional to the number of correct. So in this scenario, you chose C and then you submit it. All right. In this scenario, you will be getting partial marks. Why? Because you have not chosen any incorrect, you have chosen the correct one. And it is because of this particular criteria that once you start getting your quiz marks and assessment, you might see in certain questions, you might get 0.33, 0.66, these kind of decimal based marks might be visible out of one. All right. So, be aware of it, be informed about it. This is the way how the marking is happening in the internal quizzes. Okay. Okay, I think we have already gone through the type of questions. Let's jump on to our very first question. So now we begin the questionnaire. It is again a set of 10 questions. I would want you to please read the question. And once you have read the question, start, telling me. You can unmute and then tell which option do you think is correct. Okay, so take a time, try to read the question and the answer and let me know. So the question is, why did the candle-based filters initially provided to the people of Varanasi for arsenic filtration did not succeed? Okay, so remember we were seeing the image of a steel container, cylindrical one. We are basically referring to that. The options are: the filter candle was not efficient, lack of awareness among people, socio-economic conditions of the people, and not user friendly. Okay, so take a time, think about it. What could be the right answer? And please let me know.
Is the answer socio-economic condition of people?
Right, we have got one option for C. Yes, others, please try to pitch in.
So it is C and D, not user friendly also.
Okay, so let me tell you one thing, that this is a single choice question. All right. So if it was single choice question, what would be your answer?
C.
All right. Anyone else? Candle based water filters. So basically, these appear like this. Many of the people might have it in their homes as well. Is there anyone who still have the candle based filters? These are like stainless steel containers. Sometimes these are one, sometimes there are like two of them. Anyone who utilizes it?
Actually, I do whenever, I mean, it is really required. Like sometimes electricity gone for long time or it is under maintenance. So we use this gravity-based candle filter.
Right, sir. Right, sir. So can you tell me, I mean, how easy or how difficult it is to use it? I mean, what are the challenges when you're using it?
So first challenge is like we need a separate space to keep it because it is not going to be mounted on wall.
Correct.
The second challenge is the filtration process is a bit slow if we
Correct.
compare to
Correct.
the current filtration process. Then there
Right.
are other things like in uh, current RO system there are 7 stage or 8 stage
Hmm,
candles, but
hmm,
here
hmm, hmm,
we have just 2 candles, and it is not providing adequate filtration.
hmm.
Basically, the pH level of water is not good with this candle, filter candle.
Okay, okay. Sir, what about the maintenance part? Do you think it's a challenge in maintaining them, cleaning them?
So on maintenance part, it is not too costly. I mean, 1 or 2 candle takes it works for 6 or 8 months, I think.
All right. Yeah, how about the cleaning part? I mean, is the cleaning part difficult or it's easy? How frequently do you clean it?
I have not done any cleaning. Once it stopped filtering, then I just changed the candle.
Acha, the candle is
So I have
changed.
not done on that part.
And sir, what is the price of candle if you can recall and tell?
Sorry, I do not remember it.
All right.
But
No,
I
no.
think it was below 500 range.
Acha. All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing all these details. I think very few people have still have this because in this era of RO, it's very hard for people to use it. Right. So we have got good learning from here. I mean, what are the challenges? In which scenario people are using it? So let's find out the correct answer. The correct answer is socioeconomic conditions of the people. So very correctly mentioned. Ma'am, can you please tell me, I mean, how can we say that this is the correct answer? How the socioeconomic condition was actually affecting people and, using candle-based filters?
Actually, these filters were, I think, pretty expensive, so that they couldn't afford it to change it regularly.
Correct, correct. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So yes, as you correctly mentioned, one factor was that these candle filters were quite expensive. So the one which you see here is approximately 800 to 1,000 rupees. It's generally like that. And people were also not aware where to purchase it from. That's what has been mentioned in the lecture. So there were two reasons why how it could not meet the socioeconomic criteria of the people. It was expensive. 1,000 rupees just for one filter is like too much for them, and they were not aware where to go out, how to find out these. It was not readily available because we are seeing that it's the context of Varanasi, okay, in the village areas, right? So perfectly said. Option C is the correct answer. Let's go to our second question. Which among the below is not a step as discussed in 11 steps by Mr. Paul Pollack? The options are: go to where the action is, think like a child, even if somebody has already invented it, you do it again, continue to learn from your customers.
It is C. Even if somebody has already invented it, you do it again.
Right?
That's not a step.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? The 11 steps by Mr. Paul Pollack, who is the author of the book Out of Poverty. Remember, there was a slide wherein, we had, all these 11 steps. I mean,
I would also like to go with option C.
all right. All right. Okay. Anyone else? All right. So let's get to see the answers. So this is again a guide for you all to refer. I mean, let's go through them one by one so that we are aware. Even if a question comes from any of the 11, we should be able to answer. So go to where the action is, which basically means that you are going to the root area, right? If you're doing something for the village area, you need to go to the village. If you're doing it for a urban context, you need to go and meet people and understand that. Talk to the people that have the problem and listen to what they have to say. So meeting your users, talking to your users, communicating with your users is very, very important. Learn everything you can about problems, specific context. Think big and act big. Think like a child. Now, this is very interesting, thinking like a child. See and do the obvious. If somebody has already invented it, you don't need to do it again. Okay, this statement was basically tweaked. If somebody has already invented it, you don't need to do it again. ओके, अगर पहले से किसी ने कुछ बना दिया है तो आपको दोबारा से वो इन्वेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप उसको रीयूज करिए. मे बी यू कैन इम्प्रोवाइज द फीचर्स. Make sure the approach has positive measurable impacts. Design to specific cost and price targets. Follow 3-year plans. Continue to learn from your customers and stay positive. This is also very, very important. So, not getting distracted by what other people think. All right. So, because there will be a lot of people, talking in the negative sense, it is not working, you're wasting your time. So, being positive in that frame of mind is very, very important. All right. So, like it has been correctly mentioned, the correct answer is option C, and we'll mark that. Let's come to our question number 3. What was the process through which pilot production models of CRPF bottles made? Okay. Pilot production. And the options are injection molding, vacuum forming, 3D printing, and blow molding. So this relates to the manufacturing processes. Those who are from the mechanical background or maybe design background can also be able to answer. If you've gone through the content, you can actually answer it. And if you've gone through the content recap, then also you can answer it. Okay. So we have briefly discussed about this as well. Yes, please share your opinions. Injection molding,
Actually,
vacuum
it's
form. Yes, yes.
actually it should be blow molding
Okay, okay. Sir, why do you think so?
because as far as I have seen, all the bottles are being made using blow molding only.
All right. Sir, you have said, I mean, do you have a background in that? I mean, how do you know that?
During my college time, I have seen that. I have created some of the mold and press tools.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, sir. Okay. So, is there anyone who would want to attempt this question? Pilot production for the CRPF bottles, injection molding, vacuum forming, 3D printing, or flow molding? Okay, so the correct answer, as sir rightly mentioned, is blow molding. You can add, so I've added a GIF and you'll be able to understand. So the plastic is inserted in a molten state. It's soft, and then the air is blown into it. All right, and there is a shape, or you can say there is a cavity. So once the air is molded in that plastic thing, it sticks to the walls and it takes the shape, and then these parts are separated. All right, these parts are separated, and we get a bottle. So basically, blow molding helps in when we are creating hollow bottles, hollow parts. All right. So that is the correct answer. Okay. But now we'll take just a quick break, 3 minutes break, and we'll get back once again. So, if you want to do something, you can just go around. We'll just take a pause of 3 minutes and then we'll get back. Okay. So we'll be back just in 3 minutes. All right. All right. So we'll start again. I'll put my screen on share. So let's proceed to our fourth question. The question is, what major problem did the CRPF Jawans face while using mineral water bottles for storing water? The four options are: it made a lot of noise, it was not light enough, the plastic made the water toxic, and it did not camouflage colors. It did not come in the camouflage colors. Okay, so you've got four options. I think this is an easy one. It should not be a problem for most of you if you've gone through the content and even the recap. Yes, so you can share your
Uh,
options.
so actually, all four option is related to that, but the most significant is option A.
Okay, okay. Well said, sir. Well said. Anyone else?
If it's
So,
a
sir,
many choice, then it's all four. Like
okay.
when
So assuming that it is a single choice question, what would be the
it's
answer if it is a
A.
single choice question? All right.
It made a lot of sense. A.
Correct. Correct. Okay. Anyone else? I think I should start making these things the moment the question is displayed so that it's quite easy for everybody to understand and articulate and process it like that. What problem did the CRPF Jawan face while using the mineral water bottles for storing water? Okay. So I think sir has correctly mentioned that to a certain extent, there were issues of, the crackling sounds of the plastic. The moment a plastic bottle gets compressed because they are in motion, they are, lying down, they must, the plastic bottle might, make that cracking sound. You know, and this can actually be very, very hazardous to them. It was not light enough. It was not light enough. The plastic made the water toxic. I think everybody knows if you reuse for a lot of many times, the micro plastic elements will actually get into the water. It will not be good for your health, and it did not come in camouflage color. So we could actually see that the blue cap was like standing out, in this entire scene of green camouflage. It was the blue cap that was starkingly different. So yes, from a safety point of view, I think these were critical challenges, but it was the sound that made it a very important factor. And the correct answer, as you have mentioned, is A. It made a lot of sound. Let's go to our next question. Which concept cluster scored most number of points in the evaluation criteria of CRPF bottles? Okay, remember there were three concepts: concepts one, two, and three, and concept each concepts were being made for three different heads. Your options are ease of use, ease of pumping, ease of carrying, and ease of maintaining. So, based on the evaluation criteria, which one was evaluated having the most number of points?
It should be option C.
Okay, we have got one vote for option C. Anyone else? Ease of use, ease of pumping, ease of carrying, and ease of maintaining. So, sir, you said option C. Could you recall, how the design was for option C? How did it appear? If you can describe it.
Uh, the third concept was has glossy finish and it was fully integrated within its envelope.
Perfect, sir.
So
Perfect. So it was something like this with a filter inside it. It was completely integrated, and the other ones were having, tangling wires somewhere. Okay. So either in the pump part or either while, when you're taking it through a filtration process, it had pipes, but here it was all integrated. So from that perspective, it was easy in carrying. That's why this scored the most number of points, and the correct answer lies in option C. So well said, sir. Great. Now let's come to our sixth question. What will a designer attain in the comprehension phase? Okay. So this is basically the third C, and in all there are seven C's or the seven concerns. The options are user insights from the problem space, ideas for prototype building, feedback from the real time users, and ideas for concept building. Comprehension phase.
It should be option A.
Okay, okay,
Yes, option A.
all right. Anyone else? Hmm? Okay, I think Sir and ma'am have really gone through the content very well. So they are, correct, very much correct. The correct answer is user insights from the problem space. Well said. We'll come to our seventh question. What is the optimal direction to place a window based solar cooker such that it gets maximum of solar power throughout the day in central India? Okay, so basically these are the four directions: north, east, south, west. And again, it's something which, if you've gone through the content in our presentation today, you should be able to answer easily.
South. It's C South, I think.
Okay. Anyone else? Which direction should a solar cooker be placed so that they get maximum of solar power throughout the day in central India?
South.
South. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see the correct answer. It is south. South facing windows receive the most light and are the hottest. Okay. North facing windows receive least light and are the weakest and the coolest. East facing receive light in the morning and are weak and cool. And west facing receive light in the afternoon and are strong and hot. We can also say they are quite harsh as well. Okay. So the correct answer is south. Okay. Let's go to our eighth question. What is semantics? Is the study of changing product style according to the user needs. It helps one to achieve great design and aesthetics, meaning of product forms, and none of the above. Semantics. It was very briefly discussed, I mean, not in detail, but very briefly. Let me give you a hint when we were discussing about the bottles. You know, when the professor, a couple of bottles in the class, and then he was making students talk about it. Semantics.
So, based on terminology, I'm making guess of A. Option A.
Okay. Sir is saying option A. Anyone else? Semantics.
Directly it can be A and indirectly it's B.
Okay, so I've got one vote here and one vote here. Anyone else? Semantics. The study of changing product style according to the user needs helps one to achieve great design and aesthetics, meaning of product forms, and none of the above. So you've got two votes up till now. We have got one vote for option B. Is there anyone else who has a different point of view or diverse of opinion? You can please share.
Sir, none of the above.
Okay, we have got an option for D. Anyone else? Okay, so this appears to be a tricky question. All right. We are getting diverse of opinions. Anyone? Come on. A, B, C, D. Semantics. Okay, so let's see what the correct answer is. The correct answer is option C, which none of the participants could actually vote for it. It is the meaning of product forms. So if you recall, the professor had a bottle in hand, and he said that, just the moment you see a bottle, you kind of understand that, okay, this is the cap, this is where you need to open it up. This is where you need to hold the bottle from. All right. So basically, these are the hints, these are the meanings which people derive the moment they see any particular physical object. Okay. So any product forms, the moment you see, you are able to understand the meaning of it. Another example can be the door handles. Okay. The moment you see it, you are able to understand, okay, either it needs to be used for pushing or it needs to be used for pulling, right? So it is basically the meaning of product forms. Correct. So there is a separate course which basically talks about semantics, and it comes in user interaction. Again, it's one of the NPTEL courses. If you would want, I mean, it plays a good role in visual part as well, in the visual communication. So if you're interested in this particular area, you can actually go and take up this course as well, right? Let's come to our second last question. I mean, this is an easy one. I believe people can actually guess it very quickly. Dash brand was associated with the designing of Chotu Pool, Havells, LG, Kelvinator, Godrej.
Godrej.
Okay. Anyone else? Havells, LG, Kelvinator, Godrej. Dash brand
Godrej.
was associated with the designing of Chotu Pool. Okay. So the correct answer is Godrej. And what you see at the bottom are basically the different colors and schemes which Chotokul was brought in. It was specially made to cater to the bottom of the pyramid. Okay. And it had certain water liter capacity. It can run on battery, and it weighed 7.8 kgs. Now, Godrej has come up with another, uh, refrigerator. Has anybody seen it? What this is? कोई बता सकता है मुझे what this particular picture is about? It's again a miniature of a fridge, so it has a reduced capacity.
Is it a mini
I
refrigerator with without the old like compressor which we have? Maybe I
Correct,
don't know.
correct, correct, correct. It's basically a mini refrigerator, or you can say a mini fridge. Its name is Q, and it comes in the price range of, I think, 8 to 10K. I think within this range you can actually get it. It's the name is Cube because it's like a cube. And it does not make ice, so that is the limitation. But it can actually keep things fresh, keep things cold, so it can also be used in different scenarios, especially if you have a smaller space. People usually buy in these kind of stuff. So many times in hostel scenarios also, we have seen people using it, or in the vanity vans for for a lot of things. So it is something which is new. Again, Godrej is addressing this kind of market, so it is very interesting. So I've just added this image so that people are aware that they are also coming up with. So this came back around 10 years or so, and this is something which we could see in last few years. Okay. Now let's come to our final question, the 10th question, which is, how do mockups help the designer? Okay, you're talking about mockups. How do mockups helps the designer? Okay, it helps one to make its design an innovation. It helps one to get better understanding of shape, form, aesthetics. It helps to forecast the costing of a product, and none of the above. Basically, we are talking about how mockups are helping in the design process. How are they helping the designers in the design process, making decisions of a product?
It is B. It helps one to get a better understanding of the shape, form, and aesthetics of the product.
Right? All right, we'll take that as one vote. Any other participant who would like to pitch in? How do mockups help the designer? Mockups. If you remember, we saw thermocol mockup, for the water bottle. It had certain cranks, it had a pouch wherein, there was a pipe coming in. I'm so sorry. The filter was added, and there was a spout here as well. Something like this.
So actually, I would like to go with option D
Okay. Sir, any
because
particular reason?
yeah, because mockups are usually made to check the function and its working capability, not for shape and aesthetics. And rest first and third is not much relevant. Second is relevant, but it is not giving the significant reason to choose it.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else?
The option B.
Okay. So can you tell me why option B? I mean, we just found a reason that it should not be option, matlab it should be none of the above. Those who voted for B, can you tell me the reason? Or if you can recall something from the content.
Because mock-ups are not working. As far as I remember, those are not working. It's just a shape to just in take it in that situation where it has to be used. Those are not working.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the reason it is B.
Okay. Anyone else who would want to explain why option B or why not option B? Okay. So let's try this and understand this through an example. The correct answer stands B, which is it helps to get better understanding of shape, form, and aesthetics of a product. Okay, so right, ma'am, correctly said. These are not actual products. These are not actual working, not having a working mechanism. These are just imitating or mimicking a shape or a form, right? If you see these options, these are all made up of thermocol. Okay, so these are having different shapes, different forms. What people can do is they can actually hold it, so they can find the holding experience, right? They can actually see the shape and size of it. They can fit in the bag. Is it coming along well? Is it easy to place it in the bag? Is it easy to take it out? So all these things can actually gain more insight by using a mock-up. Okay, so it's not working, it is just imitating or mimicking how the product might look like in a solid form. So it is basically helping you gain insights into its usage, into its shape and size and forms, and helps you gain a better understanding. Okay, so the correct answer stands B, which is this one. Great. So I think we have got a lot of time left, and we are done with our set of 10 questions. Uh, so now we have the final quiz. Okay. Now this question is, how were the set of questions for today's session? Okay. So it will help me prepare the set of questions for the next session. Okay. So there are five scales. It starts with very difficult, with a very sad smiley, and it goes up till very easy, with a lovable smiley. So again, you need to use Slido, and you can vote for it, so that it can help me understand how are you finding about the quizzes, the questions of it, and should I increase the difficulty level, should I decrease the difficulty level, so that more people are able to engage, right? So I think just take time. I think this poll is really really important for me, and I think for all the other learners as well who are not being able to participate in a much better way. So I think it can help both our, both type of users. Yes, please. I would want you to please vote for this. Again, the mechanism is same. Go to Slido. Either you can scan it or you can join at slido.com. All right, all right. People are voting. Great, great. Please continue. So as of now, it's more towards the brighter side. Uh, I think these are like moderately easy. Mhm. So as of now, the scoring is coming around 3.8 out of 5. Okay. Can we have more people to vote in? I think this is not a question. It's more in terms of understanding, the typology of question. Okay, so those who have voted, if you can please share your perspective, your opinion. Do you think we should continue having this kind of questions, or do you think that we should have more of subjective type of questions, or some other typology of questions should we engage in? So I would like to hear about that. How we can help learning more fun. We can engage more people in terms of questioning and understanding the content. So anyone, please.
Sir, so basically, I'm not from an engineering background. So,
Right, right.
like different types of molding and all, it's very difficult. So, only because I've seen the less, like, I watched the video, so I can just recollect, but I am not knowing what it is exactly. So, if you showed one figure, right, about the blow molding. If something, if such questions will be asked for an exam, then I think some details, basic details about what is blow molding. I know it's given in internet, but what to take from internet that we don't know.
So what's your
So
suggestion,
that
ma'am?
might be helpful. So basically, if the questions are likewise, so if the audience is very much important.
Hmm.
So a coach should tell like what a audience basic level of education with respect to the stream also.
Correct.
So it's just, I think it's given graduate level, but for me, though I'm a postgraduate, it's difficult
Correct,
to
ma'am. Correct.
understand such kind of
Yeah, I
concepts.
completely understand, and that was one of the reasons I thought that I'll put a GIF and not an image, so that the entire process is being able to understand. Uh, yes, so I'll take that as a good feedback, and down the line when we have more of such typology of questions, I'll try to help everyone understand how it is basically working out. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that feedback. Anyone else who would like to share your perspective on typology of questions or how we can make it more engaging or improve? I mean, it's okay if you're finding it easy, then also you can share. It's perfectly fine. Okay, okay. So I think a lot of people have voted. So 75% people say that it was like moderately fine. 25 people are at the midpoint, which is neutral, neither very difficult nor very easy. And the overall score is 3.8. I think that's a decent enough score. Okay, so with that we come to the conclusion of our presentation. Um, Now I'll come back to the Gmeet and stop presenting. Uh, there are a couple of hand raised. Are you guys still there? And do you have any question? We can actually address it. Meanwhile, if you are having any question with respect to accessing the content, or if you are finding it difficult to attempt the quizzes, or how to download the references or the additional learning materials, and now's the time that you can ask. So we have got a few minutes left. I think approximately 10-20 minutes left. if you have those type of questions, you can ask as of now.
So in the week zero, the content given, is it a necessity that we have to like watch that so that in the course progress it shows the full percentage? Because I don't think so. Like assignment is okay, fine, but the other things which are there, which is it necessary? Because
So,
then that also reflects in the course progress. I think so. I don't know.
so ma'am, what I've understood is that your final marks do not depend on the content you have seen it. It is basically from the quizzes and the marks you get in the quizzes, right? But if you are finding it a little awkward that one of that bar is missing, it's always good to go through that. Week zero assignment anyways are not being marked, and I don't think it would be of much of a duration. So if you want that bar to be filled with blue, you can go through the content. That is perfectly fine. But from a marks point of view, I don't think there is an impact of what courses and what lectures you are seeing, and then according it's basically the quizzes, and how you score in the quizzes is considered for the final evaluation. Anyone else has any question or doubt? Okay. So if you do not have any questions or doubt, I mean, you can proceed to leave. In the meanwhile, you can also stay in. I will screen my share and I'll show the platform once again, because many a times we do miss out on a lot of quick links and references and where to access the content. So I mean, the last 10-15 minutes I'll be utilizing in sharing my screen and showing the different tabs and how you can access the content from there. Right. So, meanwhile, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and speak. And if you want to go through that, you can be a part of this meeting. That's not an issue. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Yes, I hope my screen is visible. Let's start from the announcements tab. Okay, so the moment you log into the SWEM platform through your mail ID, you will be arriving at this particular stage. If you are doing it for a certificate, you can actually click here and register for the examination. So it will lead you to a different page and you'll have to start filling in your details, right? So you need to click on personal info and then it'll ask a set of questions to your profile and you can, fill all of that and then, okay, so these are the basic details which you have to fill in. You save and continue, any other fields you have to fill in, right? Uh, this is the left pane which I was talking about. It is the left widget, which basically includes all the week wise content. You know, so week one, week two, and week one, all these are the lectures. If you have gone through the content, it will show a blue bubble. If you have not gone through the content, it will show an empty circle. Right. So this is a demarcation that you have gone through the content or not. So week three contents are made live. Week one and week two, it's already been done. So I believe you would be able to attempt the quizzes as well. So week three quiz is also live now, and let me share the final date of it. I think the final date for week three quiz is uh, the 14th of Feb. Yes, it's the 14th of Feb. So meanwhile, week one and two are having a deadline of tomorrow, which is 7th of Feb. So if you have not attempted yet, I would request you to please do it ASAP, because we are considering the best three. So for best three, you need to have at least three of it. Okay. This is the announcement tab. The announcement tab basically, as I mentioned, it contains a lot more information about the different schedules, wherein you have problem solving session reminders like we are having today, so it will be given. It will also come to your mail inbox if you have registered for this course. But if you want to opt out of it, then you also have an unsubscribe feature, right? So if you think that it is spamming you and you are not a part of this course anymore, you can unsubscribe for that. When the recording is uploaded, I mean, you will receive this kind of a message. Now, every fortnight, you will actually get the videos and the presentations uploaded. I usually upload it the very next day, so you can use the same link for problem solving session, and I'll show it to you right now as well. How do you access that? Okay, so these are a list of this announcements. The date of examination I've also mentioned was 23rd of March. The exam cities are mentioned here. You can actually see which city is close to you, and accordingly you can opt for those choices. As I mentioned, 1,000 rupees is for the examination fee, and these are certain details with the late fee. Okay. And mode of payment is all applicable. The hall tickets are given 2 weeks prior to the examination. Okay. So please be mindful for while filling your form, because if there are some issues, अगर आप कोई त्रुटि करते हैं, you will have to pay some certain additional fee to make any changes. Okay. This is very interesting to see that there could be a possibility where people from outside India can actually attempt these NPTEL exams. Okay, now let's see the cities. Based on the state in alphabetical order, you will find out different states and the cities and the choices, starting from Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh. So these are all the states which are mentioned, and you can opt for the courses. Sorry, opt for the cities. So you see outside India as well, you have cities, places in Dubai, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, Colombo, Jaffna, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Muscat. Okay, great. Fine. Let's come to the next tab about the course. Like I mentioned, about the course is basically leading you to the overall overview of the course. You might not be able to see week 4 content, but then the basic highlights of the courses are present, which is the 6th C and the 7th C. Okay. This is the professor's profile and the basic details once again. This we talked about. Uh, if you click on discussion forum, it leads to lead you to the page here, and you can actually go through the content, and people do respond to it, so you can actually see the questions being responded as well, right? So if I click on one of the question, I have a question about what happening in the video. The lecture describes specification of the sheet, so the people are also getting response for it. Okay, so there is another TA who is taking care of all these aspects. So the moment your question is up, you can actually uh, will eventually get result very quickly. Uh, Progress, I would like to show. See, this is the unit wise progress. So, what all the content you have seen, you can actually see the lesson progress and the assignments. So, if you submitted the assignments, you'll be able to see that as well. And assessment score will come post 7th Feb. So, after tomorrow, when the deadline is over, your scores will be generated. Right. I think these three tabs are not displaying any of the data as of now. Yeah, we don't have any of the data as of now. There was a message, I believe. Let me check the message. Session was very interactive and insightful. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the input. We've got Bharati Shivam and Mithun Kumar and Obin. Is any one of you there present in the call right now? Are you able to hear my voice? Mithun Kumar, Bharati Shivam, and Obin. Bharati and Mithun Kumar, are you there in the call? All right, no issues. Let me just get back to the screen. Now, I was referring to the additional learning materials. So, for example, if you go to week 2, these are the content and the lectures which are already been watched, and it will be available in a blue bubble. And these are the quizzes. Okay. So ALM is basically additional learning material. Let's take the example of week three. So these are the different content, and this is the ALM. Okay, so if you click on the ALM, it will lead you to an external page, which will have the YouTube link. So if you click here, you can actually go through
There's a
the
wonderful
entire.
video entitled Water Gandhi that shows Rajendra.
All right, so we'll not play it here. I mean, I'm just showing it for your reference per se. You can download all the videos, right? So you can click here. You will get a tab, the videos in MP3, and you can click here and you can get all the videos downloaded. So many times what happens is that internet is not working, and so to address those kind of issues, it's always good that you go to the archive link, and from here you can actually download all the lectures. Okay. So you have got week three, week two, all the lectures are here, lecture by lecture, and you can download it. Next, transcripts. If you think that you are better at reading as compared to the videos, you can actually click here. It will lead you to a drive page wherein all the lectures ka transcripts are available in PDF form. All lectures till lecture 50 will be presented for you. And then comes the books. So if you feel that you need you're quite interested and you would want to learn more apart from whatever you have learned from the course, we have got a list of books. This list of books can actually be accessed by you very easily. And again, it's in a drive wherein it includes what all the content was offered along with the snippets, and lecture by lecture you can actually understand it. So it's again a good way of going through the content, especially when you are preparing for an examination. Let's go to the problem solving session recording. uh, See, like I mentioned, the moment you click on problem solving session, this is the link wherein you will have to click, and the moment you click, this is how the Excel sheet will open. And by tomorrow I'll be uploading the YouTube link. Presentation will be uploaded in this particular drive, and we'll be also adding the meeting attendance. Okay, so even that uh, is something which is accessible to all of you. It helps you understand the content. It helps you uh, quick access altogether. Okay. Okay, so I'll stop my screen sharing. Okay. Okay. So once again, I would like to know whether Bharati Shivam and Mithun Kumar are present in the meeting. I believe they must have joined in, and either you guys are hesitating, or you've put in the Google Meet and then you are not around here. Anyways, I think so. With this, we are concluding our week two session. I think it was quite an interesting one with 2 to 3 people who were very active in participations. I saw some very interesting feedbacks through the Slido mechanism, and even the viewpoints which the people were sharing. जिस तरीके का मत उन्होंने share किया है in these sessions, it kind of helps us that what thought process they are building on, and how that thought process is actually leading them to a particular answer. Okay, and that's where we need to understand कि लोगों की मानसिकता क्या है, उन्होंने क्या सोच के एक पर्टिकुलर जवाब दिया है, और उससे हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है, उससे हमें थॉट प्रोसेस दूसरे लोगों का पता चलता है। व्हाट इज द लाइन ऑफ थॉट, हम किस डायरेक्शन में सोच रहे हैं, कैसे सोच रहे हैं, एक क्वेश्चन को वो अटेम्प्ट कैसे कर रहे हैं। इफ यू हैव सीन द एग्जांपल, वन पर्सन वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट इट कुड नॉट बी ए, इट कुड नॉट बी बी, इट कुड बी among C and D, right? So you're deducing. So even though you might not have the right answer up in front of you, but then there is also a way wherein you kind of try to see what are the other correct options which are given to you, and how do you decide on the most correct one. If I would rather say the most correct one, how do you see that? तो कहीं न कहीं हमने वो भी देखा कि लोगों ने उसको किस तरीके से डेवलप किया, किस तरह से क्वेश्चन को असेस किया एंड हाउ डिड दे कम अप विद द आंसर टू इट. So in and all, I think it was a great session. Like we have seen is that the trend of participation fluctuates, and we completely understand that because a lot of learners are students, and they have their assignments, they have their quizzes, they have their mid-semester examinations. So these are like a lot of changes and a lot of situational scenarios where it's very hard to be there, be visible to all of these scenarios and places, and still be a part of the NPTEL sessions. So I think what's important for all of you is to at least go through the content and do the quizzes. If you have any issue, if you want further learning, if you want to assess yourself every week, I think these sessions are really helpful for all of you. Even if you kind of miss out on the quizzes or these sessions, you don't shouldn't miss out on the quizzes. I'm sorry. Even if you miss out on these live sessions, since the recordings is anyways available, I think it should not be a problem for all of you to access that, right? So I think that in any ways will be upfront available to you, and without any hesitation, you can actually go and assess them. The presentations are kind of exported in a PDF format. The idea is that we don't share editable file because then anybody can make changes and then it might be difficult, and might be wrong as well. People might write anything there, and then it would be shared with all. So we kind of use only the PDF versions which can be downloaded, and then you can actually take a printout of it, and you can also prepare for exam. Now, talking about examination, I think there are various ways of preparing for the examination. I think we'll be doing it at the last session as well, which will be an extra session. Uh, what I have understood from my past experience, just what I've understood from my past session is that students do take various factors and they do it by different means. One of them is the note taking, which we saw even today. One of the ma'am mentioned that she has been taking notes since quite a while since her student life, and I think that is one of the great ways of keeping a note of what's happening, because in the exam you don't get enough time. You just have to, you have other obligations as well. You might be working, you might be having a family, you might be studying, or so you have to prepare in very very constrained set of time frame, and in that constrained set of time frame it's not possible to go through all the videos back to back, right? And that's where the note taking actually helps. Okay, so we'll discuss more about it. I think in the last session, maybe what we can do is we can invite people to share their perspective of how they prepare for examination, what is their way of understanding and addressing the questions, whether it is note taking or whether it is the textbook which I showed to you. Are they downloading it? Are they printing it and then reading it, or are they reading it digitally? Whichever is more convenient to them, right? Maybe we'll come out with some more interesting ways of going through the content in a quicker way, so that we are able to get most out of it. All right. So with that, I would like to end today's session. Once again, I thank all for the participations. We still have two members here. Thank you so much for being a part of this, for listening through, for being part of the voting process as well, because it means a lot. I mean, I'm very sure that doing something extra out of your daily lives is not easy. As I see, a lot of people are doing their jobs as an educator as well. So when you are an assistant professor, when you are teaching, you have lots and lots of things to do. It's not just giving assignments to the students. It's also about checking them, it's about dealing with them. It's about guiding them, mentoring them, and addressing their needs. So I think that is something which requires a lot of an effort. And if you are able to do that parallelly and simultaneously, you are also taking up this course. I think it's a great job which all the learners are doing. I think irrespective of profession, whether you are a student or a professional who is working, or a startup owner, I think doing anything extra, and from that matter learning uh, extra is always appreciable. So keep learning, and keep participating, and keep learning through the NPTEL platform. Okay, I think I would like to end with that note. So happy learning to all of you, and have a great day. We'll meet once again next week at 6 o'clock. Thanks a lot. Namaste.